If you turned on TV this week, you could be forgiven for thinking the Uraweras are the new front line in the war on terror, or you'd stumbled onto a rerun of Sleeping Dogs. But if Tamaiti is the new Bin Laden and Tuhoi is the new Al-Qaeda, does that make Howard Broad the new Donald Rumsfeld? Question mark.
There was a significant risk.
Suspected weapons training camps.
The cops may well have uncovered some fuckwittery in the Uraweras, but was it worth all the terror in New Zealand headlines that went round the world? Possibly buggering the 100% pure campaign into the bargain.
Napalm has been used.
Overnight, Aotearoa had turned into Aotearoa.
There we go.
Apparently, the terror suspects are so dangerous that camera crews were encouraged to stand mere inches from the action. Clearly, the country had reached Code Red, or Code Whero.
There we go.
So are the Maoris really coming to get us?
The Maoris, quickly, get the child here.
Or is it just a bunch of arse? Meanwhile, in the real world, the clusterfuck that is the Iraq War continues. Sadly, we're so tired of hearing about it that even bush bashing has lost all its charm. Thankfully, war photographer Sean Smith came along and pointed his camera in new directions, making a film that's resonated across the desensitized zone of the Western world and has even been cited by Osama Bin Laden in his annual September 11 video diary. Smith's work has received much praise for its honest depiction of the realities of war, but also for acknowledging that, along with the residents of Iraq, the soldiers are also the victims. This is the photograph that shocked America. A Bradley fighter upside down with 6 dead soldiers inside. Shortly after taking it, Sean Smith picked up his video camera and began to document what happened next. Just minutes after the explosion, the dead men's colleagues raid a home of a suspected bomb maker. 48 hours later, and the same men are on the streets looking for more suspects. All they find is an old woman. I spoke to Sean Smith earlier and began by asking him to describe that harrowing scene with the old woman in her Baghdad home.
She was an old, disabled Christian lady. I guess if she was in London or something, she would be, you know, probably a member of the Conservative Women's Association or something. And, just living in this place that has become extraordinary.
Was she...
So Sorry?
Was she freaked out? She looked pretty freaked out, bro.
She was pretty freaked. I think most people living in Baghdad are pretty freaked quite a lot of the time.
You got grenades going off, you got an ID blowing up your vehicle, and then you're expected to go back in those 4 to 5 hours and relax, to come back out and do another 6 hours. You don't have time. You just don't have time to do it. Your body never gets to come down. You're always on that heightened sense of alertness. That you just don't have that. You don't have the rest. Just constantly. Never get a break.
You got a very candid response from the soldiers. How did you get them to open up to you?
I was working as a photographer rather than a cameraman. I'm not a cameraman, and I'm not a writer, so much to the annoyance of the people I worked for, I mean, I wasn't asking questions. I said to the people I was with I wouldn't be asking questions, but I was going to be filming them, and, you know, if they said things, they said things. If they didn't, they didn't.
I challenge anybody in Congress to do my rotation. They don't have to do anything. Just come hang out with me and go home at the times I go home and come stay here 15 months with me.
What do you personally think about George W. Bush?
I'm with that soldier at the end. Take him over there for 15 months. I'll go and join the soldier. We'll both do it for nothing.
Do you think he's seen your film?
Yeah. I don't know. Probably not. Is Sesame Street on at that time?
I challenge the president or whoever has us here for 15 months to ride alongside me. I'll do another 15 months if he comes out here and rides along with me every day for 15 months. I'll do 15 more months. No, they don't even have to pay me extra. I just want him to come out here and ride with me for another 15 months.
Still to come. Inside this week's Sealed section, forget Tangata Pacifica or Artsville, this is what they call charter television in the Netherlands. It's a detailed how-to guide of How's Your Father. Tell Nana it's time for bed, and kids ask your parents or caregiver. And the latest in the Mr. Men series.
Doesn't matter what time of the month it is, they're everywhere.
Blah, 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 blah.